Alright, this is going to be a video response of sorts for Grubcat, showing how he anneals metal at home. I've got some metal here that I just annealed yesterday, or yesterday the day before I put it in there. And but here's the setup I use. This is an old double sink, as you can see. I've got just some pipe that comes out the bottom, runs through some dryer hose. It's connected to my handy dandy hair dryer. That's my forced air coming to the bottom to heat it up. I actually do have some blacksmithing coal there. And what I use to start fires with, because I suck at starting fires, these right here. Sure Start fire lighting squares. And these say you can use them for cooking on everything. All it is it's compressed cardboard and wax, I think is what it says. They burn pretty well too. There we go. Just a little fire going in there. And once I get a little bit more of a fire rolling here, I'll kick this back on and show you how it works. Alright, I feel a little bit of lump charcoal there in the middle. I find that it's easier to get it to start for me with lump charcoal, get the fire started. Get enough heat in there that smithing coal will really start to take off. So that's how I start it. Just got our blow dryer over there just hanging on a hook here and run right in the bottom. Give us a nice little bit of forged air and really get this sucker moving, get her hot. There we go. Now, if I'm going to anneal, this is going to be a knife here. It's a old farrier's file. You can turn that into a knife. At least that's my plan. I've got it kind of bent up. You can see I put a little bit of a bend in it yesterday to preform it, because this will actually end up being the sharp edge, the cutting edge. But when you flatten this out, it's going to curve it back the other way. Figured that out the hard way. But after I get it good and red hot in there, here's what I use. This is actually going to be a machete for a friend of mine. Here's one that I just did heat treated yesterday. I use some potting soil. I'm told dirt, potting soil, as long as it's dry dirt, a bucket of sand, all good things to quench it in. Alright, we haven't been working too long here. See, we're starting to get somewhere. We've got her straightened out a little bit. I need to get this, I get about 6-8 inches of this coil straightened out and cut it off. That's what my goal is here. We got good hot fire going now though. That's with the blow dryer on low, kick her up to high here. You can see the color change. That color change means we're getting a whole lot hotter. We're also burning coal faster, and it's not very cheap to buy the coal, so I'm going to take my time on it, because this is not that important of a project I have to get done immediately. Alright guys, I got about as much off there. You can straighten out a good section of it. Got about as much of it straightened out as I need. I'm going to heat it up real hot down there in that corner, to the point where it's almost melted. I'm going to cut it off. I get it hot enough, I'll take it over here. This hardy tool I'm still working on, because it doesn't actually fit that hole very well yet. I may actually just lay that on the anvil and cut it most of the way. Put it on there, we'll use that to just cut right through it, just bang it right through. Show you what it looks like when it gets done. Alright guys, well here's my first attempt at this. Took that bar and flattened out the center portion there. Put a couple 90-degree bends in it that way, and then this way. Tried to get them lined up as well as I could, which is harder than you think it's going to be when you first start, trust me. And then you'll notice I do have one hole there. I drilled me a hole. That one went right through like it was soft metal. I tried to drill another one. Almost dropped her. Tried to drill another one in those two spots, and I broke my drill bit. That's much harder steel over there. I did not take my time quenching it slow enough, I guess. I probably should have just let it set and anneal overnight. Imagine that, just like with what I was trying to show in the first place. Keep dropping this thing. But what I'll do is I'll probably take it in the house and temper it in the oven. Most spring steel, from what I understand, now, I'm not an expert, by the way, but most spring steel, I believe you can temper in the oven at about 400 degrees for an hour. You let it heat up and just cool down nice and slow, and that softens up the metal. And that's what you would do if you're going to use something as a knife. Gives it a decent hardness for that. It's still hard, but it has put some of the spring back into the steel so that it's not so brittle. And this, as you can tell, is very hard right in those two spots. So when we use this for, I'm actually going to take it, put it on a cabinet. I've got a cabinet with two doors that open and close, and they're going to close on either side of it. I'm going to get that all straightened out and cleaned up. But we'll mount that like that. We'll drop a piece of wood back behind that to hold it closed, kind of like an old castle door. Or at least the way that you see them on TV. I don't know. I've never been to any old castles. But that's my goal. That's what this piece is for. I'm going to put it on the grinder, clean it up a bit, and then take it over and put it in the oven, and we'll temper it and see if I can't dig out another drill bit to hopefully finish those holes up. But yeah, there's my setup, Grubs. And the knife making, well, it's dirty now. I didn't get it in before we had a storm here the other night, and I got leaves all in my oil. But I had some just used motor oil sitting out here. That's what I've been quenching my knives and stuff in, anything I make. So I'll try and get a couple pictures of some knives thrown up here. I made a few knives, not many. But let's see some of the knives you make, Grubs, man. Come on. Hope he sends you with the pictures. And we'll be seeing you.